Hiya folks, Fuzz here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy 15. This is the demo version of the Windows edition, which is coming out on March the 6th. And I've actually, been really happy so far with the fact that the port seems to be working. I've not been happy so far with the fact that there have been a few issues with the port, and a few people have mentioned those in the comments of the last episode. So there's issues such as screen tearing and what have you, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I have got VSync enabled, but that's not the kind of screen tearing you're seeing, since VSync is actually a technology that interacts with your monitor's refresh rate, and since you guys aren't using my monitor, I'm using my monitor. The screen tearing you're seeing is nothing to do with VSync being enabled or disabled. That's just an issue with the game. And if you go onto the Steam forums, as I have in the discussion groups, then many others are experiencing that as well. Now, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do unless Square actually fix those issues. So hopefully they'll learn from this demo, and when the game is released properly on March the 6th, then everything will be running smoothly, as we would expect. So we actually spent a little bit of time in the last episode going through the first couple of quests. I'm not going to go for an in-depth walkthrough with this video, since it is just an exploration of the demo. We'll go ahead though with the Mutant Marauder, and we'll get started at this point. I am still using a PS4 controller, which is still being detected as an Xbox controller. So hopefully that won't raise any other issues as we play through the game here. We'll go ahead and camp.
Alright, I'm gonna pitch the tent.
So for those that are unfamiliar with Final Fantasy 15, you need to camp or rest in a caravan or a hotel in order to collect or to have all the experience you have collected added to your total levels. So as you can see, that's exactly what's going to happen here. We'll also get to choose to eat a meal as well, which will give us a temporary buff. And we'll get to see quite a bit of product placement. This game is full of product placement. Now the thing is, when the game is working properly, when the graphics are working as you would expect, it's actually very smooth. And I am, at least, I know you can't see this, but according to the counter, getting 60 frames per second consistently here. And I have limited it to 60 frames per second, so I suspect we could get it even higher if I wasn't recording. So attack by 10, health, attack by 30, attack by 50, and health by 200. That's probably going to be the best, so we'll go for that one. So this is going to help us take down the Mutant Marauder quest. So I noticed as well in the last video's comment section that a few people were also having major issues with getting the demo to run properly. And some of those people had, very powerful hardware as well. There we go, level up to 6. But as I say, there's not really a whole lot any of us can really do about that at the moment. This is the very, very first release of Final Fantasy 15 onto the PC. So there are going to be a few issues, I would imagine, anyway. And I'm guessing it is quite the major port. This is quite a beastie game anyway.
Like a father to her. Ever since they got back, Sid's been the only one looking after her.
Rather more than a middling mechanic can handle.
But so far, these first few minutes in today's video haven't been too bad, have they?
Treat her wrong and Sid'll stuff his wrench where the sun don't shine.
Take care of the car and it will take care
So
of
even though I'm not going for a walkthrough, one thing I do like to do when I'm playing a new game of Final Fantasy 15 before taking on the Mutant Marauder is just spend a minute or so getting some gear and spending some of our Ascension points. And the one piece of gear that I'm interested in is a pretty decent two-handed greatsword for Noctis. And I'll just have to remember the location here, but it will give us a bit of a good example as well as to how the game's going to play, since we'll be running around and defeating enemies, etc. And the stamina trick does work, I just seem to be terrible at it on the PC for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. Just cannot seem to get the infinite replenishment there. So I do also want to see what content's available in the demo. I have heard that the demo doesn't contain the side quest content, hunts and things of that nature.
The hunt is on. Nothing we can't handle.
You think?
So depending on how many enemies we kill, it may or may not be worth resting up again before the boss fight. But it probably won't be for the sake of this episode.
Never knew what hit him.
We all good?
Better than good.
So I'm pretty sure it is around here, this blade that I'm after. The blade of Brenni or Brennery or something it's called. And it is a nice upgrade this early on in the game. It could be this item here. Yes, it is. The blade of Brennery, I think. So we'll go ahead and if I can bring up the menu here. I don't know why my controls are very different to what they are on the PS4 version of the game. And some of the buttons don't even do anything at all.
Not the time for horseplay.
Which is really annoying.
Just
going to run away from these for now. So you get the aggro circle, which if you escape from, should bring you out of the range of the enemies. So they shouldn't attack you at that point. I don't know why, I cannot seem to bring up the menu. I don't even know what that icon is that's on the right hand side because it's showing me on the Xbox controller, which I'm not using. I'm using a PlayStation controller. Ah, there it is. I've got it. It's the share button. It's definitely not the share button on PS4. Well, at least we found it now, haven't we? So we'll go to gear here. Go to Noctis. And we can either give him the blade of Brennery, or we could give it to Gladiolus. But I think we'll give it to Noctis for now. And the two-handed sword is what he's already using, so that won't be an upgrade. But the other thing I always like to do, before going any further with this, is if we head over to one of these, techniques, it's always a good idea to teach Ignis enhancement, since you'll be using this a lot throughout the game. And what that does is imbue Noctis' weapon, I mean I know it says there, with the element that the enemy's weak to. And it should be detected automatically by Ignis when he does Libra or whatever the case may be. And you can also learn some others as well while you're in the menu. And the way you'll cast that ability, I will explain as and when the occasion calls for it. But for now we're just going to head over to the target, I think, while we've got our buff active. And I just wonder if there's any outfits that come with the demo version of the game here. I'm guessing not. No, just the standard outfits. There's no, like, special outfits such as the pre-order content and stuff that you should be getting, I believe, with the full game. And by the way, you can actually get this game not only on Steam, but also on Origin and the Microsoft Store. Now, personally, I'm going to be getting it on Steam. I've already pre-ordered it from Green Man Gaming. I've got a link in the description because there's a discount with that. And that's cheaper than Steam. But I just like to have it added onto my Steam account, if that makes sense, rather than using the Microsoft Store or Origin. I've not really got a whole lot of games built up in those libraries. But I'm guessing it's going to work exactly the same way, however you purchase it. But there are some pre-order differences, which is what I wanted to mention. So if you care about the different bonuses and what have you that you get with pre-orders, then I think you get different bonuses with each of those platforms.
Huh. That's a dual horn?
Yes, but not your run-of-the-mill breed. We'd best make quick work of it.
So we've got our lovely high-powered weapon here. Oh, wow.
Wait a sec.
That guy is a lot hairier than I remember. I don't know if that's part of the PC graphics upgrades.
Looks tame to me.
Yeah. Look out!
But I do not remember him looking that fluffy on the PS4.
Nice one. It's not over yet.
Ready for round 2.
So yeah, we can now do a technique if I move out of the way here. And what I'm going to do is have... Oh, I haven't got Ignis set up with it. Okay, so we go to gear, go to Ignis, and change his technique here to enhancements. There we go. And while I'm here as well, I'm going to give Noctis the accessory we collected before, which will increase his health, the bronze bangle.
Duly noted.
Hey, Ignis, instructions. No.
And now Ignis is going to use that enhancement ability. And the Bloodhorn's almost dead already, thanks to this sword we've got.
Don't die on me.
Get a couple of nice hits in. And the little quest thing pops up just as the enemy died.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Dave just called and said he's safe. Thanks for finding him.
Okay.
Nice work, y'all. By the way, the old girl's looking good as new. She'll be waiting at the garage.
Gotcha.
Right, so there we have it. I want to actually do a comparison after
Who's
this.
up next behind the wheel?
Ignis should take it and never let go.
I want to see what that Bloodhorn looked like on the PS4. Because he looked a little bit different there with that hair blowing in the wind.
Not sure I do.
That's pretty awesome.
Put me in the driver's seat.
Good. Because I need the legroom in back.
But now we have the long run back to Hammerhead. And fortunately, later on, there's going to be alternative means of travel. Obviously, we're about to get the car, so that's a big one. And the car can be upgraded. Apparently, with the Windows and Royal Editions, there's going to be a whole new quest to upgrade to the Regalia Type D, which is the off-road version of the car. Now, that was added in a patch on the previous normal version of the game. But in order to unlock it, you literally just had to speak to Cindy once you completed the story, I think it was. And that would do that for you. But now there's an actual quest that's been implemented, so I'll be looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And of course, we have chocobos in this game, although not for a while.
Sluggish, indeed.
What's interesting actually about the chocobo travel, if you've played Final Fantasy 15, no doubt you've used it a lot. I cannot seem to get this infinite stamina working.
It's rude to keep a girl waiting. You better apologize.
But what's interesting is it is completely optional
That?
to unlock the chocobo ability to ride them.
A live hurricane. That thing's like half bird, half storm, half airship.
You realize that's 3 halves.
That would explain its size. Awesome in every sense.
So you have to complete a hunt, which is to take on Deadeye. And a lot of people don't necessarily realise this, but that is a completely optional hunt. Even though it feels like it isn't, it really is. So a lot of people as well do criticise the fact that there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of travelling in this game. Whether you're running long distances, as we are now, whether you're, you know, sitting in the car, as it automatically takes you to your next destination for several minutes at a time. Oh, there we go, it worked then. There is a lot of travelling, though. And that's just the nature of the game. I don't recognise this music. Was this music in the original, part of the original soundtrack, or is this new? I honestly don't recognise it. Oh, it's working. I think I just wasn't letting the bar deplete enough before I was trying to do it. Has to get closer to the S, as opposed to the T.
We're here.
Just try that once more. Yeah, it's working now, that's fine. That was just me being an idiot before then. I'm just going to check what we've got in terms of hunts, if anything, here in the demo.
Welcome.
Talk, eat, and hunt.
Take your pick.
Oh, so there is side quest content. I don't know why I've been saying there isn't. That's what I read. And something that the game introduced in a patch a few months ago was the ability to pick up multiple hunts at once. I wonder if that's in the demo. Yeah, it is. It says currently active out of 10, doesn't it? So we can have up to 10 hunts at any one time. I'll tell you what, that is going to make the PC playthrough for me so much more fun. I've not actually done an entire playthrough since that change has been implemented, you see.
Hungry for info? Make sure y'all go prepared.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and speak to Cindy here. And in all honesty, I was moaning earlier on, but since I've adjusted a few settings around, the game hasn't been running too buggy at all today. I've had a few issues with tearing, even with VSync enabled, but apart from that, things have been pretty acceptable, I would say.
Sorry about the wait. Ain't she purty?
She's almost too pretty for the road.
She's back. We should all get a picture with her.
All the more reason to ride with care. Oh, and before I forget, would y'all mind making a little delivery for me?
No, not at all.
Perfect. Thought you'd say yes. So I already put it in the trunk.
As you can
Should
see,
be a motel on your way to Galden.
we got 50
If y'all
experience
wouldn't mind
for
giving that to
choosing
the owner,
accept.
That'd be swell.
That was 50 experience for every party member. If we'd have chosen Ask Friends, we would have got 200 experience
Now
for
that she's all
Prompto.
polished up and ready for the road,
Or if we'd refused, we would have got
would
2
you care to take her
Ascension
for a little
points.
test drive, no?
So all those dialogue options give you a different rewards.
Sure, why not?
And I needn't remind you to exercise caution.
Okay, so we've got the car back now, and that's going to take us to our next destination. There's a few optional things we can do as well, such as speaking to people that are stuck on the side of the road with broken down vehicles. So we need to go out be prepared for that. And so what I recommend is just going to a shop and picking up a few repair kits and some potions and some antidotes as well. So you can give them to people that have little mini, very mini quests all over the world, pretty much, starting from this area as well. But folks, I'm going to finish off this little video here. What I'm going to be doing now is live streaming the game. So do come and join me for those live streams, depending obviously when this video is watched by you. I might not be live streaming it then, but at the moment, as of recording, the plan is to do quite a bit. So hopefully you guys will come and join me and say hello. And I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have, don't forget to leave a like. And please be subscribed to my YouTube channel. I appreciate the support very much. And I'll see you soon for more Final Fantasy 15. Take care.